Pew, 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 pew. Good evening, Sean Hopkins, and hello to everyone else who was tuned in for this ad hoc Aldrinage live stream event on a Saturday night. Whoa. I do hope you're keeping well out there, lads. Stay here. Whoa. How are we all keeping? Slightly more respectable looking. Staying dry. Well, you're inside, you're staying dry. Good man, how are you? So, sup of water just to keep the old throat going for the old talking crap. So, tonight, said I'll come out here for a few minutes. I've been looking at an ESR meter design. And of course, I'll do a video on this, but I just sort of said I'd come out and talk about this kind of handy and quick. Mr. Dranfield's in the chat as well. And Christian Eck from Germany. Michael, I'm talking about ESR meters. And very, very simple ones. So I have a nice one here. It's a Peak. Or not a Peak, sorry. That's your crowd. Your neighbour makes those. I have... what is the name of the crowd that make them? Meter. Yeah, that's a question. It should be wrapped up here in the corner under some of your favourite multimeters, Mr. Dranfield. It's cold here, although not as cold as it was yesterday, because we've had a bit of rain this evening, so that's kind of warmed up the situation slightly here. But we had a hard white frost here this morning, the first of the year. So, yes, the capacitor wizard, ESR meter. And we all know how this works. And if you don't, I'll make a small video on ESR meters in the near future. I haven't tidied up at all, Michael. What I've done is I've moved the camera angle so you can't see all the other rubbish. Okay. Anyway, the capacitor wizard is a well-known meter to all those. I don't know if you have one of these, Mr. Dranfield. This isn't a Bob Parker now because that had a digital readout on it, I believe. This is maybe an American crowd. And of course the batteries are on low again, I think. Actually, you know, funny enough, I think the caps are gone in this. Because when it warms up, it seems to be alright. I think the caps in the ESR meter have gone high ESR, which is kind of ironic. However, there's a very cheap, simple design using two transistors that someone put up on the vintage UK Vintage Radio Forum the other day, and it's a design that's online. Very simple. So I'd actually seen the design years ago, and I sort of contemplated making it, but then John passed away, and I got his ESR meter, so that kind of took the urgency off needing one. So years ago, I got this out of a skip. It's a Hawk exhaust gas analyzer meter. Okay, Now, of course, it's missing the important bit that plugs into the exhaust. That's not something I'd use anyway. You don't really need that, because what you do is you look at the piping or whatever up, and if smoke comes out, you've got a problem. Right? Basically, what this does is, I think it reads the it's for setting the carburetor, the FEO mix, and all that kind of nonsense. And it reads the carbon monoxide level. And of course, if your carburetor is running too rich, that'll be high. So that's how that works. Anyway, I thought this would make a nice little box to put the ESR meter in with the nice meter movement and what have you. So that's what I'm planning on doing. But of course, the design calls for a 1 milliamp meter. So we have to find out, is this a 1 milliamp meter? I think I seen the one in the television magazine that you're talking about, Michael. I don't know if that was that an analog one or the digital one. So anyway, how would we figure out? Now, I've already done this, but I'm going to make a video about this. People don't. Most of the people watching here will probably understand this. Anyway, how would I find out what the full scale current of the meter is? Rather simple. So, what we would do is, what we have done is, I've got a 100k variable resistor, and we put that in series with the meter movement, a 9-volt battery, and one of our happy little fluke meters set to the microamp range, and then we read off the current at full scale, and that'll give us an idea what the full scale current is. You see, it's very simple. So I'm not going to do that now because I have to bring the camera in. That camera's not suitable for that kind of work anyway. Close up. But I will be making a video about this in the near future. I don't think I can put a link to that in the video. Wait, I can. Because if I go on with my phone, I can put a link to that in the video, and then we can see maybe some other people. I was surprised that the chap who posted, who made this circuit, didn't get any replies. I'm noticing that a lot on the UK VR forum. Some very good posts. Never get replies. Anyway, that's a worry. Good evening, George Christophe. There was two. The second design by Alan Wilcox, if I remember correctly, also included the printable meters. Yes, I think I remember that, Mr. Dranfield. Right, let me go into YouTube. Let me go into. Ooh, my phone's really flat too. I better watch that. I'm going to my channel. Oh, that's loud. Let me go to the UK Vintage Radio Forum. Bloody spam ads. Look, this is the ad that I'm getting on my own video when I go into my own video. Arseholes, right? There is the link to the post on the UK Vintage Radio Forum, right? And I suppose I could always put that link in as well. Right? Have a look at them, see what you think. Have a look at that, Michael, see what you think. Simple. Anyway, the chap made on the UK Vintage Radio Forum was pleased with the results that he obtained, and he made it out of bits of scrap he had in his. I'm not thinking for a handy little project, I might knock together the same thing. So we'll make a video on that. It's so bloody cold out here. So that's the crack. Yes, I must say, I thought it was a nifty little name for a stream too, Mr. Christophe. It'll heat up a little bit in time, I'm sure. We'll turn on some test equipment for residual heat factor as well. No harm putting on the scope for a few minutes anyway. The scope hasn't been plugged in a while. So how is everyone else keeping out there in YouTube land? PCBWay, shared project section. I'll technically do that, George. That's not something I've thought about. And then I suppose you can order the board off PCBWay. I know somebody over here who deals with them quite a lot, actually. It's not something that I've ever done myself, so it's something I'll look into. Yes. I know it's cold because the Philips pattern generator is in black and white at the minute when it should be showing colour bars. I think there's a couple of caps gone high ESR in him too. For some reason where the oscillator is slow to start. On a warmer day it usually kicks in within a couple of seconds, but when she's cold it could take a minute or two. But it always gets there in the end. A fine bit of gear too. George is keeping well. Good evening. You almost got confused. I thinking it was a Sunday. You needn't worry, it's not Sunday. I hope you're keeping well, White Sapphire. And Ray Bourne is in the chat as well. How are you, Ray? We hope you're keeping well too. I probably won't stay over here too long because it's a bit cold. But I just said I'd come on for a minute when I was coming out and having a look at this. Oh, we've just got colour bars there, so she's warmed up nicely. What's the recipe today? We were just talking about ESR meter, so if you go up the chat, click on those links, you will see what I was talking about. I don't think there's any way for me to pin a comment that I make in the chat, is there? So people can see what I'm talking about. Well, maybe there is. Let's click on it. Oh, pin message. I can only pin one at a time though, Yeah, alright, we'll leave that one pinned because that has all the details in it. Yeah, turn on some valves. Valve set. I don't have any valve sets at hand today. Funny enough, not in a position that I can just plug them in. I was pleased to see that Chris had posted a video because he hadn't been on YouTube, and it was almost 3 months since he posted his last video. And an interesting one it was too, on that nice Taylor signal generator, which I was tempted to purchase myself at the Goblin, but it went to a more deserving home. Michael Dranfield says the 1500 was the best black and white set of all time. What about the one that came after it, the solid state, 1615? What did you make of those? We have 14 people watching and only 5 thumbs up. So do hit the thumbs up button. The 1600 was a fire hazard, and then wasn't the 1615 then the replacement? I have a couple of 1615s here. Well, I think I only have one now. I scrapped a couple of 1615s is what I should say. A couple of 24-inch Thorn 1615s, but they were they were write-offs really anyway. There was no panic about scrapping them. They were in bits. They'd come out of a shed with no roof, so you can understand. With smashed plastic cabinets, so there was no point holding on to those. For anyone who's interested, do have a look at the link that I've pinned. I'll hang on here. I'm not going anywhere for a few minutes, and come back and tell me what you think. Okay? Thank you, Roundy Mooney. Roundy, I have a box for your bits and pieces, by the way. I just have to wrap them up. The man with the spanner. I hope so, but they're heavy, so just bear that in mind. One of them anyway. No, you know the two of them. Well, it's up to you. We'll discuss offline, as they say in Teams meetings. What else can I talk about? I didn't really come out here with an agenda as such, which is never good, really. Oh, it is bloody cold. I think I might select the 2 kilowatt setting on this fan heater for a few minutes. That's gonna stink now because that hasn't been on in years. Yeah, we must box off Christmas presents for Mr. Dranfield as well. I was thinking perhaps a pallet load of Avo 8s might be a suitable gift for Mr. Dranfield. We know how fond of them he is. Yeah, we need to sort this out. That is true. We also found out what was wrong with this little Philips multimeter we were talking about a while ago. One of the tracks was blown open on it. I mended the track, but the wiper undid my fix-it job, so it's gone again. So I'm going to have to come up with a better solution. I might have to drill little holes to the board and run a wire the other side and whatnot. But I think it's worth fixing. Handy little meter. Kiltop Brackley says you need a drop or two of plum poaching to warm you up. lovely in reasonable quantities, but too much will blow your head. Yeah, well, we don't want that. We certainly don't want that. No, sir. Ah, yes. And of course, the good people of County Cavan are well known for their plum pochade. In a place not a million miles away from Red Hills. Lovely lakes up there. Roundy Moundy would chance the infrared heater. Well, Jesus, a long time since I turned that on. That brings her up to 3 kilowatts. I'll show you what I've got here actually. With the wiring that's coming to this shit, you can see that this camera has no stabilisation in it at all. CVC5 is a 2 kilowatt here. I have a CVC 9. Here's me machine here. Right, right down there. Ooh, no, that's too much. No. We need to get a better. So this is it. She's in 2 kilowatt blow mode now. This is a late 60s Philips job, right? So we could go for infrared. It's gonna stink though. It's well over a year since I turned on the bar. So between the bar and the 2 kilowatt blow heater underneath, it's the only one I've ever seen that's both a blow heater and a infrared. There she is lighting up there now. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. If you turn off the light, you'll see it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the job. That be heating up now, alright. 3 kilowatts of the finest. I'll give that a minute or two. I don't know, I feel a bit dubious about using that particular function. I'm on a slight angle there, I don't like that. Now, where is my nearest power station? Too far away. I see old Underscard is here. We know who Underscard is. And he's a valued member of the Odge and Odge community. So we hope things are keeping well over there in Prague for you. Do we want snow? No, but I get the feeling we're going to get snow this year. Funny enough. In fact, earlier on today, I thought we were going to see snow. I had that look in the air. Roundy Moundy is one similar. I hope you're a good power supply there with the 3 kilowatt heater and all the gear on. To be honest, the wiring to the shed wouldn't be wonderful. But it's a cold night, so that'll counteract the voltage drop in the wire from the house. It'll be alright for a couple of minutes. I should say, or should I probably did say that I did get a large complement of triode valves to suit my listen all way of radio. So I hope when time is good to me, and it's not being good to me lately, that we will get around to getting that going, because that's going to be an interesting video on its own right. Indeed. Mr. Drantfield, if he's still in the chat, have you got around to looking at any of the sets which we deliver to your fine premises in Buxton? We shall have to get over to Mr. Drantfield again at some stage in the future. Most definitely. A great day was had by all who attended. I have never seen so many little drawers in one place. Unbelievable. Are the lines on the pylons long yet? Well, I don't know, but I'd say the boards wouldn't want to be sitting on them anyway. They might get warm feet. Oh, good man. You got it going. Oh, total disaster. Oh, don't say that. Alright, well, that looks interesting. As I say, I didn't do anything with that other than... I didn't do anything with any of them. Bar the red diffusion, which I powered up, and I had flame collapse, and that was it. So I sort of thought, well, that one's a goer anyway, because at least we know it's got a good line output stage. But you say it's a total disaster. Oh no. If anyone can, Drantfield can. That's what I'm thinking. Oh. Ah, shit. The line transformer packed up after about 5 seconds. Well, I am sorry to hear that. That is bad news, Mr. Drantfield. We'd high hopes. I suppose the chances of getting unlocked for that are slim to none. I wonder, and I'm sure it's possible, of all the line output transformers that was fitted on all the televisions, all the thousands of different types, surely it must be possible to get into a situation now where we can start substituting line output transformers, such as lads are doing in earlier valve sets. I do know of someone who is putting a Bush AA23 transformer into a G8. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Mr. Drantfield, and I suggest you give it a good time in there, because it came from a slightly damp environment, and so did the Mark IV. So hopefully they dry out. Now I wonder, with the 405 line sets, Michael, what we do is we run between the anode, between the two anode cap valves, the PY800 boost and the line output, we connect a bench power supply, and we dissipate a few milliwatts, say 500 milliwatts through it, just as nice and warm. I leave it like that for a few days to drive to heat up the overwind and drive the dampness out. Now I wonder, I'm sure a similar thing could be done with a solid state line output transformer as well, to dry them out from the inside. using a DC power supply. Trans the man, or we could do a David B and his Thorn Jelly Pot conversion. It'd be difficult on a colour set like that. But definitely, I think there's so many line output transformers now. There must be a bit more interchangeability between line out transformers than we were led to believe by the manufacturers. If you could figure out what the various supply rails are doing, of course you could keep the ones that you really need, and the other supply rails, the way the tuning voltage and all that sort of stuff comes out of the line output stage. I mean, surely you could design it so that could come off a linear supply, and just use the line output transformer primarily for supplying the scanning current. Yeah, I suppose they are in short supply too. They all are, and I suppose it's a thing where we have to start. We're gonna either have to jack it in or get very inventive indeed to keep this whole thing going, because as time goes on, more and more these line output transformers are going to fall over. Which isn't good. Now, don't mind me as such. I'm just looking here. I want to feature here what I would call a YouTube channel of the week. Okay, and this is this chap that I found, who is making his own valves, and he's also gone ahead and made his own CRT, which is incredible. Okay, so I'm going to send a link to his channel there, just for anyone who may not have seen him. Really well worth checking out. Okay, so I do hope you will. I think you'll find them very entertaining. So this is the next one I'm going to stake in, and now I'm going to, anyone who was interested in the ESR meter that I pinned should have went and had a look by now, so I'm going to unpin that. And I'm going to stake this up and pin it now instead. Yeah, well, I've read about that White Sapphire, Chris, on the VRAF forum. I'm sure everyone here is aware of the VRAF forum. I think he's putting, I think, is it an AA23 transformer that he's... No, it's not, because the G6 is a PAL set. I think it's out of Deca Bradford or something like that, and he's trying to put... Unfortunately, a single standard G6 came up for sale here recently, but just the cabinet, tarted up as a drinks cabinet. And I messaged the seller as soon as the set came up, and they told me that all the insides had been disposed of in the bin. And I was actually thinking of him and the line output transformer when I seen it. Anyway, people are fucking troglodytes. you can find the equivalent HR replacement, you can call up the HR data sheet with all the winding voltages labelled. Yeah, I thought about that. I have the HR book here, one of them, and it has a lot of that stuff in them already. It's finding the equivalent when you don't know it can be a bit difficult. Are HR still going? Probably not. Be interesting. I know Donberg up in Donegal still have a fair old stock of line output transformers for sale at a fair old price too. But then they know if you want one. You kind of know where else to go. And that's how they get you, you know. Well, they're plugging away alright, but I think things are fairly grim for them up there now at this stage of the game. If it's only the primary side that's failed, wouldn't it be worth having? Would it be worth having a word with Mike Barker? But the problem is, it's encased in plastic. You know, the modern split diode line out. Well, it is a split diode in that one, I suppose it is. But what I mean is, it's a modern plastic encased line output transformer. I don't know how you'd. I think it is. I don't know. I didn't have the back of it. Maybe I'm wrong, Michael. Is it an open type winding on the line output transformer on that set? Might be. Either way, it's probably going to be difficult anyway. Know how happy Mr. Barker will be to see you coming in the door, one of them. Dipping something like the German sets, like the Grundigs. I think the Grundigs were, a lot of the Grundigs were like that. So that's going to be a difficult day out, and I don't know if it'd be possible to rewind one of them. I suppose everything is possible. Oh, you know, there you go. Yeah. I don't think it'd be financially viable to send it to Mr. Barker for a rewind. Interesting nonetheless, though. Well, I hope you have more luck with the old Z718 anyway. Or 719, should I say. I think you got a couple of them off me. I was a cruel man giving you those, really. That wasn't really a present at all, was it? I was looking tonight on eBay and a couple of Pi D16Ts sold for sale, and they were over here in Ireland. I was going to have a go with them myself, but they got a little bit strong for my taste. They both sold for €450, which would be, suppose, close enough to 400 of your English Queen's heads. So pricey enough, they out. Although maybe I wouldn't say a bargain, but they're going right. I have seen a Pi D16 console sell for £700 at the NVCF a couple of years ago. So, you know, they're 1946 television, and God's not making any more of them, I suppose. I think once they went north of 300, I kind of lost interest. I'm sure I might take one up somewhere else along the way. Of course, this might seem a bit grim, but a lot of them alphas are going to die soon enough, and no one's going to want them. They'll slide in. That's a strong thing to say. It's true. Because me and a few heads are left, they'll go in the bin. William Fenton says he worked on a K70 years ago. Lovely looking sets, ahead of their time, despite being hybrid. Can't remember what the extra PL504s were. They the PL504 was a separate EHT generator. So the line scan and the EHT were separate. Ingenious design. I think the Bang & Olufsen 3500 or 3000 or whatever it is, that had the same idea as well. So the completely independent of brightness. The raster size never changes, unlike say a Pi 697. Mr. Tranfield says the overwinding is sat on top of the primary, so I can't see why I can't be cut off. Still going to run the YouTube video. Yeah, do, yeah. Failures and all. I do the same. It doesn't matter. Not everything is going to be a success. That's what the real world is about. Someone might have a replacement for you, and that's the gas thing about YouTube. The connections you make and the people you meet. For example, you and me, Mr. Dranfield. Who would have known that the two leading lights of the television industry on YouTube would have met and shook hands? And to be fair though, if it wasn't for YouTube as a whole, like we wouldn't have this platform and forum and meeting up and as such. I know that there's the vintage radio forums and all, but then there's people that aren't on those forums. So I think you have an even wider audience here. Mr. Mooney says, I think you're right. You'd see stuff hitting the market all right in years to come. Even now, valuation seems to vary between underpriced or else deluded relatives thinking Grandad spares were worth a fortune. Yeah, I completely agree with that sentiment, Mr. Mooney. Mr. Tranfield says, you're my replacement now, JJ. Oh, dear. Long time past since I did CRT. Yeah, but you're coming back round to your roots, Mr. Mooney. You see, that's it. And if you want to get involved with Sony sets and broadcast monitor Sonys and all, you will find lots of work for yourself because the vintage retro gaming community are screaming out for people with the skills to repair such things. Now, personally, I would rather stick my head into that electric bar fire there than start getting into stuff like that. But if you're handy with Sony gear, there's money to be made in CRTs even still. I think it's more accessible here. Faces to names, etc. I'm inclined to agree, Mr. Mooney. Absolutely. Absolutely inclined to agree. Now, I'm going to go into the house for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to return. I'm going to go in and get more water for myself to drink, because I'm a bit thirsty tonight. I've too much salt on my dinner. And then we will talk more nonsense. So please do stay tuned, and I'll be back shortly. I'm going to turn off that infrared bar too when I'm gone over here. I don't trust him. That's better. Right, lads, be back in a minute. Now, dearest Dodge Nodders, I am back. What have I missed? Cowbells. Oh, wonderful. Plug in my phone here because it's going to die of death on me here in a minute. Water. Why not water? What's wrong with water? God gave us water for life. Anyway. So, while I'm here, I suppose we may as well do a couple of polls. We like the polls, and it's engaging, you know. Engage with your fans and your audience. The polls. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? I want to know how I start a poll. Because what they've done is they've keep changing YouTube every bloody week. They've done something else with it. And not only that, they're changing the features, which is a bit upsetting. And I've also found that it's getting very glitchy at times, which isn't good. I'm sure I asked this question before, but no harm. Right. Poll. Poll time. Do people use forums? I don't think, personally, I think forum use in general has dropped off quite a lot in the last couple of years. And I've noticed that, say in the UK Vintage Radio Forum, if you go back 10 years ago, there was loads of names there that you never see anymore. And all these fellas were flat out fixing very interesting televisions, you know, G6s, G8s, Torrent 3500s, ITT CVC5s, and all that kind of stuff. And all them fellas have just, I don't know if they've gotten fed up posting or what. I suppose, how many times can you write up a restoration of a television? You know, I mean, it's all the same thing. Sadly, some are gone. Which ones are gone, Roundy? Oh, sorry. Of course, you're talking about contributors in those forums. Yes, and that is quite true. Some of them have sadly departed over the years. Brian Cuff being one I can think of, just off the top of my head, but there's loads of them. And in fact, there's been quite a few have passed away this year, even. So that is a factor, but the people that I'm thinking of are very much still around. I'm not much older than myself, a few of them, but they just seem to have gotten burned out with the whole thing. Brian certainly was a master of his craft, absolutely. And I can't think of too many people that would be up in that class when it comes to the. I can think of a couple of names, but who would I would really regard when it comes to the television, vintage television community. But I could list them off on one hand, you know. George Donaldson is in the chat. How are you, George? Hope you're keeping well. The trivia thread to him on Vira is a great reading. He also used to do lectures and talks on some on YouTube. I wasn't aware that any of his stuff is on YouTube. That's something I'll have to look into. Yeah, they're not making any more people like that, unfortunately. We're losing all these people. More and more every day. Bang a link into the chat, Roundy. You have the privilege to do so with your little blue spanner. So how's life down in the Midlands, Mr. Donaldson? We hope you're keeping well out there. You're just back from Mayo after clearing out a TV man's workshop. Good man. I believe he was a very generous fellow. Well, you could see that in the posts and things that he did give to people. He was known. God love him. Never good either, George. There's another one, John. Seems to happen all right. Was he into the LCB radios as well? No. XRAF types, I know a couple of them myself. Up around a certain age too. Mike Edwards, yeah. That's a name I'm aware of, alright, as well. Yeah, another one. There's certainly problems coming down the tracks with large collections and people as well. Good man, Roundy. I suppose people can click on the link there. I'll leave this video up in the chat so you can come back to it if you want, or bookmark that link, or do whatever you do to have a look at that. See what Paul is doing. Interesting. The poll is interesting, funny enough. Only 9 votes though, with 21 people watching, so do get the finger out and participate in the poll, please. I would appreciate that. He was a big fan. I think he had a massive KB collection. I think he even had the KB flag off the factory, which he had a flagpole at his shed. I remember seeing a picture of that on one of the forums. This KB flagpole, KB on it. Yeah. Sad all these characters are leaving us. What's coming behind them will pale in comparison. Yeah, them quirky outfits that sort of pick one mark or brand. It's quite interesting, you know. It's funny how they latch onto one thing, be it Morphe or KB or what have you. I suppose I'm kind of a bushman myself, but not through any particular concerted effort. It's just what seems to come this way. Is there, George? Now, I know you were in touch, George, but I might get in touch with you again and we'll have a chat, alright? You kind of caught me off guard that day too, where things weren't going all that wonderful. Tough at the time that I was dealing with you. So, come back to me again on that, alright? I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. I'll send you a message or something. I only have one KB radio here. Do I have a KB television? Was I given a KB television? No, I don't. I have an Echo television. Don't have a KB one. Yeah, any ITT laptops. You know what, Michael? I'd say the chances of having a laptop for that television over here are slim to none because that was an English-only set. So, I'd say the chances of you finding a line output transformer for that particular television could be slim. Unless that laptop was used in other ITTs, in other televisions. But there wouldn't have been too many of them over here. Wasn't Brian a bit of a Philips fanatic? Yeah, I seem to remember he did something. Didn't he restore some basket case Philips projection set? I seem to remember. I'll have to go back over this again in me brain. I must look back through the forums. He did a few pre-war restorations. He did, and I think he did a real big one just before he passed away. I'm sure that thread is on the UK Vintage Radio forum, or not the UK, the Viva forum, Chris's forum. I can't remember what TV it was around, to be honest, but it could very well have been a HMV. I do remember it was a bit of a basket case, but he finished the fucker. Can't be easy either when you're in that situation, but I suppose it's something to keep your mind occupied from the inevitable. There's the bloody rain again on the shed. So, I suppose coming back to the forums, excuse me, I suppose coming back to the forums in general, someone, there's a chap here watching me, but he doesn't comment on YouTube because he's a cranky out gift from Cardiff. But he's asking me, am I going to drink this pint beside me? Well, I probably shouldn't, because it's a candle, right? And we're saving it for when they turn the electricity off. I was presented that by one of my many fans at the radio show. Coming back to the forums in general, and anyway, I was laughing at that. Would you agree with me that forum participation in general has dropped off in the last couple of years? Well, I suppose Facebook would have an awful lot to answer for too. I'm not on Facebook in any shape or form. I know I'm starting to think, I was on Facebook years ago. I was starting to think I should probably get some sort of a Facebook page, not for any personal reason at all, but just because I'm probably missing out on stuff on Facebook Marketplace and that. But I do look at the UK Vintage Radio Facebook page. You can look at that without being a Facebook member. And when you scroll through that, then you get a little section that gives you loads of other like Facebook pages, and you can scroll through that. Now, most of them are private or whatever, but you've got, vintage radio collectors, vintage television collectors, vintage colour television collectors, vintage black and white colour television collectors, vintage this, vintage, and there's so many of them. And I suppose the whole thing has got diluted and has probably taken away from the actual forums themselves. I suppose nobody under 30 probably, with one or two notable exceptions, actually uses forums or goes anywhere outside Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, or Instagram on the internet. They probably just stay in those places. They probably don't ever go into the Google search bar, and so they probably don't even find them forums. I think it was the Marconi 702 might have been the last one he did. Reddit. I could never take a Reddit Mr. Mooney. It was just a bit too weird for me. I don't know, I just didn't like the layout or something. Let's have a look at how this poll is done anyway. Now, I do understand there's limitations to this poll because there's going to be people who use all three forums or whatever, and they can only vote for one. I only had the option to allow up to 4 questions in the poll, which I didn't like, because I actually wanted to ask 5 questions, the 5th being all 3 or 2 or more. We couldn't do that anyway. So the Goulburn Radio Forum has not fared well, and then it's kind of VRAT has actually fared better than UK VR, which I actually found surprising, but I'll give you a look at it anyway, because overall the forums have not come out as well as I thought they would have. Now, of course, only 9 people bothered their bollocks voting as well, so that doesn't help either. There is stuff on there, alright. Vintage radio pages on Reddit, yeah. It's not chronological. That's the biggest thing, but some people prefer that. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't for me, Roundy. That's all I can tell you. I did glance into the world of Discord there a while ago, and that totally baffled me. I'm never going to Google that again. VRAT is struggling to stay going in reality, which is a shame. I suppose it is. And I don't know why. I suppose an amateur radio analogy for this is anyone who's into amateur radio will often hear, you'll say to someone, do you use 2 meters anymore? And your answer will be, no, because there's never anyone on it. But if the people went on it, then there'd be people on it. And I suppose it's the same with the forums. It's easy to say there's nothing on the forums anymore, but then if everyone isn't writing articles or whatever for the forums, well then there's not going to be anything on the forums. But then it comes back to the thing where I said that how many times is someone going to do a write-up on a television? You do 10 or 15. I did 1 or 2 write-ups on televisions. Actually, I did more on the UK Vintage Radio Forum. Probably 6 years ago now or more. I started to get into it. But I got a pain in my arse because there was always someone that was going to tell you what you're doing was wrong or this or that or the other. And it's just, you get fed up. So, and I think a lot of people got the same as well. UK VR has a critical mass. It does, and it comes up first whack in Google as a suggestion and what have you. But badly needs an update. It does, and I think I don't understand these things, but I'm told that their forum software or whatever is going to run into the buffers at some stage in the near future, which could be an issue. And however well-intentioned is too heavily modded. I'd be inclined to agree with that too. Yes. So there must be 3 ratters on here tonight. Well, there must be. And nobody from the Goblin. I signed up. I think it was on my recommendation. Oh, that's right. You signed up to the VRAT forum. You did. You didn't sign up to the UK VRRR forum yet. But then, I suppose one's as good as another these days. That said, anytime I put a query on UK VR, I get an answer fairly quickly. Yeah, generally you will get an answer fairly quickly. Oh, White Sapphire. Oh, that's me putting me place on, Michael. Grid Runner Shack. Hello, Grid Runner Shack. It's V Bulletin on Vintage Radio Forum. Very old software nowadays, but still does a job. Discord is a good alternative. Discord frightens me terribly. I don't understand it. I went on Discord once just to have a look, and I lost interest within 3 seconds. I guess I'm just not cut out for all that. V Bulletin is out of support, I believe. So, yeah, it could explode, I suppose. Although the chap who owns it knows what he's doing when it comes to software, so sure he'll figure a way out of it. Because the VRAT forum, and in fairness to Chris, he does an excellent job. That is a very well put together forum. A very swish looking and modern and bells and whistles and stuff. I don't know, was the interest there even? Now, there was, I believe, a Facebook page associated with the VRAT forum at one time as well, but I don't know if that's still the case. Perhaps White Sapphire or someone else who is in the know could make comment on that. I'm not sure if that's still a thing anymore. John Purcell, hello, John. That's exactly what I did, White Sapphire. I signed up, I looked around, couldn't make head nor tail of it, and left. And then deleted the app off my phone rapidly. Maybe there's something I'm not getting about it. I don't know. Strange situation, alright. 24 likes, 19 views. We were up to 24 views there a while ago, but they have filtered off. There are almost too many alternatives now. That's part of the problem, yes. Much like the television stations, it's all fair due diluted, isn't it? Trouble with Discord is it doesn't support threads. It's all real-time chat. So does that mean to say that maybe I'll have another look just to try and figure it out. Does that mean to say that there's nothing tangible that stays on Discord? It's a real life thread, much like this live chat here. That if I was to delete this video afterwards, that's it, it's gone. Is that how Discord works as well? If that's the case, I kind of don't really see the point in it. Telegram retains its chat history. It will let you keep posts and scripts on Discord, but it's not threaded. But it does have channels that work a bit like threads. Alright. I see. It's all a bit above my head now, to be honest. I don't really understand all that. Sign that out. I suppose it depends, doesn't it? It's for the cool kids. I'm a bit generation gap by social media. Well, we'll have to get you a drop of oil for the chair. Yeah, it's kind of good. I think it's more than oil it needs. I think it needs to go in the bin. Well, to be fair, I think it came out with Skip to start with. It's seeing better days. Funny enough, the trace has gone darker on that scope since I turned it on. That can't be good. Maybe it's just settling down. Ah, yeah, no, it's grand. It's all good. Happy little scope. I think that came out with Skip as well, actually. Probably a voltage drop from all the haters. You know what? That's actually well, I'd like to think that has a stabilised power supply somewhere in there. I just wondered if I turn off the light, well, no, you can't make out the colour bars in the telly. Probably could if I turned on more light. See there, you know. Interesting. Gridrunner Shack says he has the same model and struggles to get any decent reception on it with a small long wire. Far too many gadgets drowned out. Oh. Right, lads, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's still kind of cold in here, even with the heat full whack. So I think I'll go in and watch telly instead and sit in front of the fire. Usually on a Sunday night, I do a live stream. I didn't do one last Sunday. And I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow night, so it's quite possible I won't do one tomorrow night either. And on the flip side, if I am here, I'm not doing nothing better, I might come out. Although I should probably make a proper video instead. I haven't done one of those in a while. We shall see what tomorrow brings. But thank you all for tuning in. It's been an interesting chat. And more discussions will be had in the near future. Alright, we'll take it easy, lads and lassies, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Good luck for now. Thanks for tuning in. Good man, Michael. The best of luck with it. Right, thanks very much, everyone. We'll catch you again in the next one. Good luck for now. Bye-bye.